Scoring always gets the spotlight. Fans cheer dunks, threes, and highlight reels. But here's the truth. Defenses have been shaping championships since the very beginning. And the wild part? Some of the most important defenders barely get talked about. Let's start with Bill Russell. In 1963, he averages 22.5 rebounds per game. That number's crazy, but here's what it actually means. Boston keeps teams under 100 points a night. Even though games run at breakneck pace, about 120 possessions each, the NBA doesn't even track blocks yet, so Russell's best weapon doesn't make the box score. Still, opponents adjust their entire game plan because attacking the rim basically means meeting Russell in midair. Now, everyone remembers Wilt Chamberlain for dropping 100 points in a game. But here's the part people forget. In 1967, he completely changes his style. He shoots less, rebounds more, and locks in defensively. Philly holds opponents to 42% shooting that year, and suddenly the Sixers break through for the title. Wilt proves he's not just a scorer, he's the defensive backbone of one of the best teams in history. Jump into the 1970s and you meet Bobby Jones. His nickname? The Secretary of Defense. That's not a gimmick. Opponents literally shoot 5% worse when he guards them. He's the type of player who makes stars like Julius Erving and Moses Malone look even better because Jones covers the mistakes, rotates at the perfect time, and makes gambles safe. When you see Philly win in the early 80s, Jones is one of the hidden reasons why. Then comes Sidney Moncrief in the 1980s. Only 6'3", yet he wins the very first two Defensive Player of the Year awards in '83 and '84. The Bucks' defensive rating sits around 100 when he's on the floor, while league average is 108. That's like stealing an extra stop every quarter. Larry Bird once said Moncrief was the toughest defender he ever faced. Think about that. One of the greatest offensive players alive, pointing to Moncrief, not the Giants, not the household names. The 1990s belong to Dikembe Mutombo's finger wag, but it's more than blocks. In 1996, he averages 4.5 of them, yet the scarier part is this. Teams take about 8 fewer shots in the paint when he's playing. He doesn't just block attempts, he erases the idea of attacking the rim. That 1994 upset where Denver takes down Seattle, it happens because Mutombo forces Shawn Kemp into bad looks, holding him to 37% at the rim. And while Mutombo controls the paint, Gary Payton is suffocating guards on the perimeter. He wins Defensive Player of the Year in 1996, the only point guard ever to do it. Seattle forces 17 turnovers a game with Payton harassing the ball handler from baseline to baseline. Even Michael Jordan feels it. In the '96 finals, Payton holds him to just 41% shooting. That's the glove at work. Not stopping greatness, but making it work twice as hard. When the 2000s roll around, Bruce Bowen becomes the Spurs' secret weapon. He never averages more than 8 points, but try shooting against him. Good luck. Opponents hit nearly 7% less when Bowen's the primary defender. His discipline allows Tim Duncan to stay in the paint, trusting Bowen to lock down the wings. That's how San Antonio builds a defense that carries them to 3 titles with Bowen starting. But nobody redefines defense in that era more than Ben Wallace. Listed at 6'9", but he plays like he's 7'2". He wins 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, leads the league in rebounds twice, and blocks once. The Pistons in 2004 hold opponents to 84 points a game. That's unheard of in the modern era. And in the finals, Wallace holds his own against Shaq, forcing the Lakers into chaos. Detroit wins the title not because of flash, but because Wallace builds a wall in the paint. Now think about Memphis in the 2010s, grit and grind. That identity has a face, and it's Tony Allen. Kevin Durant flat out calls him the best defender he's ever played against. The numbers back it. Memphis posts a defensive rating under 100 when Allen starts. Without him, it jumps to 104. That difference is the reason the Grizzlies go toe-to-toe with loaded teams like the Spurs and Thunder. Allen doesn't fill a stat sheet, but he tilts playoff series. And finally, Andre Iguodala. He wins Finals MVP in 2015, not because he scores big, but because of defense. When Iguodala guards LeBron James, Golden State's defense improves by almost 12 points per 100 possessions. That's massive. He doesn't stop LeBron, nobody does, but he changes where LeBron shoots from, taking away easy dunks and forcing tough jumpers. The Warriors' dynasty builds on shooting, sure, but it starts with Iguodala showing how versatile switch-heavy defense wins rings. See the pattern? Scorers get remembered, but defenders reshape history. Russell turns defense into dominance. Moncrief locks down legends before the three-point revolution. Wallace shows size isn't everything. Iguodala changes a finals by making one superstar work harder. Defense rarely makes the highlight reel, but it always makes the difference. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.